Activity number 2, thumb wrestling. For this activity, ideally, you have a partner. And I'm going to show you how to do it as an individual and encourage you, after doing it as an individual, to go and find a partner and do it with someone. I think it'll be fun to do both ways. So for this activity, there's a thumb wrestling game, okay? And basically, you usually you're standing, opposite each other and hooking thumbs, so your thumbs are both on top. All right, but for the way we're going to do it as an individual, we're going to do it like this. I'll say you need to know 2 things for the activity. One is how to score a point, and that is to gently pin the other person's thumb down. There is non-violent activity. There's no biting, no hair pulling, no smackdown. But pinning the other thumb is the way to score a point. And so as an individual, you're going to keep track of the right thumb and the left thumb and how many points they get. If you're playing with somebody else, each person is going to keep track of their individual points. Now, the other important thing to know is the object of the activity is for everyone to score as many points as possible. So you know how to score a point, and you know the object of the activity. So we're going to play just for 30, 60 seconds and keep track of your points. Okay, ready, go. Keep track of those points. It's kind of more challenging if you're alone. Okay, so now what we want to do is find out what happened. Okay, so when I do this with audiences, I ask, so how many people scored 5 or fewer points? And I get, especially for those people that are playing with partners, I get the majority of the audience saying that they scored 5 or fewer points. And then I ask who scored 6 to 25 points. And then we get a handful of people that have scored 6 to 25 points. And at this point, the rest of the audience is kind of going like, what? How'd that happen? Then I ask if anybody scored more than 25 points. And I always get a few people that have done so. And then people are really going like, wow, what happened? And so what I do is I have the people that scored 5 or fewer points, I have one of them demonstrate. And it was like I showed on the video, where you're battling, and sometimes one person wins, or one thumb wins, and sometimes the other person does, or the other thumb does. And then I have people that scored, 50, 100 points, stand up and show everybody what they did. And what they show is they just allowed each other to score points. And everybody goes, oh my gosh. So what we find about this activity is that we fall into competing even when cooperation really serves us all more. And inside of connection, we learn to cooperate more, because the people that resisted the natural tendency, because it is our natural tendency to compete, and thumb wrestling is a familiar environment, so I kind of set you up. But I gave you a cooperative goal, and even though we're some of the more cooperative people in the world, we fell into not listening to the cooperative goal and listening to the competitive conditioning. And so when we're dealing with these big challenges that we're all facing as a global human family, stepping out of our natural competing mode and getting into cooperation and connection, we can find many more win-win solutions to our issues.